Guys, Amy Slaton's life has been a total roller coaster lately with how many challenges she's been experiencing. In less than a year, her life has changed a lot. She welcomed her second son, temporarily moved out of her house, and is currently going through a messy divorce. And now, many people are starting to wonder how she's going to manage the struggles that come with being a single mom, because everything that Amy is going to have to figure out is just unbelievable. So Amy and her now estranged husband, Michael, separated at the end of February, but even before then, Amy was afraid that she wouldn't be a good mom to their sons, Gage and Glenn, and now her fears have more than likely taken a seriously intense turn. So according to The Sun, a source claiming to be close to Amy revealed that she's been feeling very overwhelmed as a single mom, and she's no longer staying with Tammy and is back home with the boys, but allegedly, parenting on her own has been super difficult emotionally, and it's hard to not wonder how Amy is getting by, considering how much she depended on Michael for help, because she's legally blind, so she relied on him to drive her everywhere, and now Amy's in an incredibly troubling spot, because even if Amy can find consistent public transportation in her area, that doesn't solve everything, because she's still potentially going to be left with a crazy amount of difficulties to overcome. Like, whatever bus system or Uber is operating in Amy's area might not always be available when she needs to go somewhere, and plus, that's another expense that she didn't have to worry about before, but there are even more unexpected hardships related to transportation, because Gage and Glenn are both very young, which means that they regularly need child checkup appointments at the doctor's office, and not to mention, many kids are constantly catching illnesses, and if one of the boys gets sick, Amy is going to be in yet another tricky situation. So unless she can get one of her family members to help, she won't be able to take the sons, who's sick, to the doctor without bringing her other son along. And once the boys are in school, that will lead to even more issues for Amy as a single mom. So if her sons are in after-school activities or sports or just have separate plans, she will have to figure out transportation for that too. But that's not even the only aspect of raising the boys on her own that's going to be insanely demanding, because bringing up her sons in a single-parent household is going to be an adjustment for Amy's finances, and the reality of how her money situation will change is just crazy. So it sounds like Amy and Michael are probably getting close to equal parenting time, so it's hard to say if child support will be a factor, and previously Michael had been the only one working full-time, and although it seems like he might be unemployed right now, but Amy has always had ways of bringing in her own money that are kind of surprising. So other than her TLC paycheck, Amy makes some money from creating content on her YouTube channel, and she's been promoting products and doing unboxing, videos while partnering with the company Temu, but that's not all, because if Amy's TLC income doesn't disqualify her from the program, she could also be earning disability benefits, due to her blindness. So the average monthly amount in Kentucky is around $1,300. So it sounds like she could be doing okay, but if Amy isn't making much from YouTube or she stops appearing on TV, that's just a totally different story, because Amy being legally blind prevents her not only from driving, but it limits her from working at a lot of other places as well. And it's no wonder she's supposedly having a tough time on her own and feeling overwhelmed. I mean, she has so much to handle right now, and trying to keep up must be absolutely exhausting, and transportation and money struggles aren't the only things Amy has to deal with as a single mom, and although she's made a lot of progress, she's still working on improving her health, and in the past, trying to balance that and everything else has been extremely difficult for her. And in season 3 of 1,000 Pound Sisters, Amy and Michael decided to call in a professional cleaning crew, and at the time, they just welcomed Gage to the world, and trying to juggle life with a newborn while deep cleaning the house was way too stressful. So the living conditions of Michael and Amy's house really weren't great, and there was evidence of bugs and rodents living inside, right next to their dinner plates, literally, and Amy had a total breakdown in the episode, but she did make a noticeable change afterwards, and Amy was upset and worried that she wouldn't be able to provide a good life for Gage, but she asked for help and fixed the problem. So, so far it seems like, her newer house is much cleaner than what we saw before, but hopefully if Amy encounters a troubling situation, she'll remember to ask for help again. And like I said, nowadays, Amy is trying to lose more weight and eat healthier and take care of the boys and do all the household chores. And based on the feedback she's been getting from her latest TikToks, handling everything on her own is proving to be tough at times. And recently, Amy has been sharing quite a few TikToks of Glenn and Gage, and the videos have been showing different areas of the house, but they've also been revealing what some people see as kind of worrisome signs, because a few of Amy's TikToks suggest that her journey into single motherhood has been somewhat challenging sometimes. But instead of giving Amy a little extra grace, some of her followers have been completely dragging her for an astonishing reason. One TikTok in particular has been the source of so much criticism. So in the video, Amy managed to capture one of Glenn's latest milestones, and he just started standing up by himself, but not everyone was excited about the video because several people actually called Amy out in the comments for not keeping her house or her kids very clean. And the video showed an empty plastic cup on the floor near Glenn, and it looked like it had been holding an ice cream sundae of some sorts. But that's not even the craziest thing that people were picking apart, because there were a couple of dark spots on the seat of Glenn's tan-colored shorts, and some of Amy's followers jumped to the conclusion that the spots were from sitting in a dirty diaper. But based on what Glenn was doing in the video, that assumption seemed pretty bizarre, because Glenn was right next to the empty sundae cup, which had some remaining chocolate syrup on its brim. So it seemed like he had just been given a little bit of ice cream before accidentally sitting on the cup or some of the chocolate syrup. And also, it's obvious that Glenn is still getting the hang of standing up by himself, which why he kept sitting and standing back up. And if that were happening while he was in a diaper, that needed to be changed. I mean, the mess would not be dry or contained like it was. And people were so quick to judge the quick clip before they slammed Amy for supposedly not taking care of her sons. But it's totally possible that she had just been, taking a quick breather when she managed to catch the milestone moment. And that's not all, because if Amy's followers were that upset over Glenn's shorts having a couple of stains, that's honestly just kind of ridiculous in my opinion, because almost every parent knows that it's nearly impossible to keep a baby's clothes clean for very long. But the critics in the comments were just so unbelievable. So instead of understanding that Amy is currently going through a mentally draining divorce, some people were just cruel, but going after her for not doing enough as a parent because of an empty sundae cup on the floor seemed like a bit of a reach. And Amy's followers know by now that she is a newly single mom who's raising two very young sons, and I can't see how the hate she's been getting online could be helpful for anything. And thankfully, she has several people in her corner that do support her and her boys. Tammy and Amanda have also been sharing photos and videos of Gage and Glenn lately, and in their posts, the boys are either smiling or babbling or playing, and it looks like Amy's family has been regularly visiting her and her sons, and she's probably really grateful for that. And it's not surprising that Amy hasn't figured everything out as a single mom yet, since it isn't an easy feat for anyone. However, from what I can see, her sons look happy and healthy, but if Amy truly needs more help than what's available to her, that leaves her with another bizarre option. If Amy actually can't take care of herself and her sons on her own, even with her family's help, maybe she'll have a change of heart. And there have been a few comments online suggesting that Amy and Michael should try to make their marriage work, and getting back together with Michael would probably take some of the financial stress off Amy, and she would have transportation again. But based on the problems that they were allegedly having before they separated, their marriage really wasn't healthy anymore, and it seems like Amy's only real option right now is to accept the support from her family and continue doing the best she can as a single mom. So it's going to be a challenging at times, but hopefully Amy will ask for help if she needs it. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? And do you think Amy should try getting back with Michael to make her parenting situation easier? And also, what are your thoughts on how she's been handling single motherhood so far? Guys, let me know in the comments down below.